What's going on, everyone? Superstar Steve here again. Thanks for joining me for another episode of One Take Live. You're on the YouTube channel, not the podcast. As you might have heard over the previous couple of episodes, I have launched a podcast. If you'd like to join me, just search in basically any of your podcast apps for One Take Live or Superstar Steve, and you should be able to find me. It's a podcast which I'm devoting to wrestling talk of all different kinds. Mostly I'm just breaking down the shows on a weekly basis, doing preview and review shows of all the pay-per-views. We're going into some in-depth detail about how everyone's performances were, character development, storyline development, where they should go from here, what they're doing wrong, what they're doing right. Hopefully that's the type of stuff you want to listen to if you listen to the podcast. So if you want to check that out, do that. If you want to leave any feedback for me, you can leave it at SuperstarSteve1 on Twitter. Apart from that, we're into this week's episode of One Take Live on YouTube, which this week I am talking about has Wrestlemania become more of an event than it is about the wrestling? And for me, the answer is yes. I've noticed in the shows over the last couple of years, as well as the show this year, I think it's more about getting everyone you can on the card, rather than providing the best card that you can. And that's shown in a number of different matches that they've put on the card. Sure, you've got Brock Lesnar, Goldberg, I understand that. That's where I thought they were going with it originally, because I thought, why would Goldberg sign on to do just a random pay-per-view? Surely he'd be wanted at Mania, and sure enough, they've built to that. So that is come to fruition. You've got Roman Reigns, Undertaker, another number one match on the card, a dream match, some of you may say. It's probably the match I'm looking forward to most, actually, because I'm interested to see what they're going to do with Roman, if he's going to turn heel or not, and whether they're going to give him the victory. I really, really hope not, but time will tell. But then there's not much. I mean, you got Chris Jericho, Kevin Owens. Okay, that one's been building for a while. That's due to hit. Then you've got the tag teams on Raw. Cesaro and Sheamus, Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson, and Big Cass and Enzo. It's a bit of a wish-wash there. Like, normally there's one team in it, but because they've got multiple teams in the division all fighting each other, they're putting them all on the same card. Again, with the females, you've got, at the moment, on the Raw on the Raw side of the show, it's got a fatal four-way for the women's title. Whereas on the SmackDown side of the show, you've got every woman wrestler in the match. It's not the way it's been in previous years. Normally they've whittled it down to just two people. That's it. If you're not on the card, too bad. The next biggest issue I have with WrestleMania is the AJ Styles match, as it currently stands. He's going to verse Shane, it appears. And I don't like that at all. You've got so many other wrestlers you could put him up against. But he's against a McMahon, who has no right to be in the ring with the best wrestler in the world as it currently stands. It's a travesty in my eyes. Then you've got people that are underused and are not featured in any of the main bouts. You've got Braun Strowman, one of the biggest monsters on the show. The biggest powerhouses, one of the biggest characters, and he's got no one to fight. Unless he somehow gets involved in Roman Reigns versus Undertaker, but I'm not sure. You've got Luke Harper, not versing anyone. Not involved in the Randy Orton-Bray Wyatt match. Unless he somehow gets involved, but I wouldn't see that as happening. Bray Wyatt versus Randy Orton has been a wish-wash of family things and nothing to do with the title. For me, they should have the title on AJ Styles, and Wyatt and Orton can go do what they like, but there's no mention of that title at all. I don't even know what they're fighting, why they've included it. The Andre the Giant Battle Memorial Battle Royal was obviously created to give everyone a go at WrestleMania, because they don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. And then you've got some other matches which are still yet to be finalised. You've got the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. I don't know how that's going to go. You've got some other women wrestlers that are not on the card, but they're sort of on TV every week. You've got the Intercontinental title being defended by Dean Ambrose. But yeah, it's a little bit of a, I guess, not one of the best WrestleMania cards, but not one of the worst. And I think it's suffered because they put everyone on the card, or tried to put everyone on the card, when if you're not good enough, you don't deserve to be there. That's the way it is. You want to put the best card on the show to satisfy your audience, and I don't believe that's what they've done. I think they've just put everyone on there to try and not hurt anyone's feelings, and give everyone a go. And you're doing a disservice to the company, you're doing a disservice to the fans, and you're doing a disservice to your wrestlers, because if they're not being pushed to be the number one, then your product doesn't get any better. And they're not going to be on the show if they're not number one. So that's just a little thought that I was having over the weekend when I was reviewing Raw and SmackDown this week on the podcast. Check that out, One Take Live, if you want to see it. Yeah, that's basically it. I mean, the lead up to it goes from sort of late December through to we're gonna hit April, so that's January, all of February, all of March. A good 3 solid months of build up. And yeah, they should have had a solid idea of what they were going to do. I think the most part they did, but some of the part they didn't. I can't imagine them making the AJ Styles. So surely someone's been injured and he hasn't been able to go. Possibly because Finn got injured at the start of the year. I'm not sure. I would have loved to see Kurt Angle on this card too. Kurt Angle versus AJ Styles would have been an epic match. But you never know. We got 1 week left of Raw, 1 week left of SmackDown. Anything could happen, I guess. It could happen in the last minutes of one of the shows, and they could rectify it. You never know. Shane might come out and say, "I'm too beat up. The doctors won't let me wrestle. Here's my substitute opponent." I'd love it to be Shinsuke Nakamura too. I'd love to hear those violins hit, but he's in a title match, so he's not going to be put on both shows spontaneously like that. I think he'll probably come. I doubt he'll be on Raw. I think he's going to go to SmackDown, and I think he'll be on the first SmackDown after WrestleMania. But yeah, so we got a good 3-month build up. The stadium show that they put on is always amazing. It's in where is it this year? I think it's somewhere in the middle, maybe. I'm not sure. Or was it in Florida? I can't remember. But I hope it's not daylight when they do it. I think from memory, no, it wasn't Florida. I think from memory it was further west. Because when it's in the daylight the whole time, it just ruins the spectacle, I think. You need darkness. It needs to look cool. Wrestling in the daylight isn't nice. But you never know. So that's probably all I got for you guys. I'm not going to keep you hanging around listening to drivel. You have my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts if you want to share them with me. That'd be good. WrestleMania. Oh, we got the final Raw and SmackDown. Then I'll do a preview of WrestleMania, preview NXT, a wrap up of NXT, a wrap up of WrestleMania. I might put some of these on YouTube. I might put the majority of them on the podcast though. Listen in, keep following me. You know what to do, guys. I'll leave you with my sign off catchphrase. Shut that down. Shut that down, superstar. Shut that down. Okay, we're off, guys. Bye.